Hey, Steve Zonardo here with Remax Experts Zonardo Associates. Just a real quick update on the market. Current inventory right now, we're at 11,825 units, and I'm going to go back to last week to kind of give you an idea where we're at. Expired listings, 1,898. New inventory in the last 7 days is 57 units. Sold inventory, 626, so that's down. And the terminated listings are down to 660. Here, let me just kind of look through here quickly, see where we're at. We've got a ton of stuff happening today. So last week's inventory was 11,706 units, so very similar, just about 100 units more. The expired listings have come down in half, so inventory is not expiring this month. Either the contracts have been put off and they've just been re-signed, or tis the season where things start selling. Sold listings are obviously down about 200 to 300 units since last week. Terminated units have gone down also, so we're at 660, and then that's pretty much it. So there's a little bit difference here. So less sales, and we're getting less expired and less terminated. So it looks like the market's going to be crazy this year on both sides of the border. I can't see it not being, and I'm going to go through some articles and reasons why you should start buying real estate now. We usually, when I look at investing in real estate, I'm always looking at what the really large companies of the world are doing, and that's always based on America and Canada, kind of see who's moving and who's shaking. Obviously, these guys have a higher level of information than we do. So clearly, it's almost like when you're investing in an area, if Walmart is there, they've done all the research. You kind of just put your money there. You understand that that area is going to gentrify and obviously get populated, and values are going to go up. So this is how I kind of look at it. Very simple theory, but even for us back in Toronto now, we have a really big book of business. We have 2 or 3 listings that are signed, getting ready to get listed at the end of this month, and we're dealing with 4 to 5 buyers all at once. And these are buyers that were left into from last year. Basically, we sold their properties and they're going to be pushed into January. But we got to make sure we do these deals quick, just in case the market starts taking fire. And then we sold obviously at one level, then we're going to be at a fluctuating upward motion. We're just obviously going to take away from our clients' pockets. So ultimately, right now, it's a very, very fine line. We got to make sure that whatever we sold, we're getting it back into properties real quick. Basically, just keep it going, because we don't want to obviously take equity out of their pockets. The whole point was to make them money. Mike's going to do a little video on his property too, a little breakdown what he did. And we always encourage clients in a downtrodden market is always to upsize is the best thing, obviously, because if a 20% or 30% of the value has gone down on product, the higher amount of property is always going to fall lower. So even though it doesn't seem like it, but on your mortgage, you're going to be paying 30% less than what you would normally have to pay in the future. But let's have a look at some articles, and this is why I'm a little bit panicked too, because we sold off a ton of real estate in Canada. We're moving it to the U.S., and now we're in the middle of developing properties. And clearly, I want to get these things off the ground, permitted, and ready to trade. But we're probably, at best, I don't know, by October we should have a product ready to sell. But what we're going to do is we're going to break ground, and then we're going to list it as a floor plan and see if we can sell it like that. We're going to obviously work both sides of that. Goal is this year to build 1, next year 3, and then 26 5, and then we want to go to 10. We're going to start doing infill. So we want to build this. I'm 42. I don't want to work the rest of my life, so I want to make sure I can kind of scale this quickly, use all the money gain, reinvest it into the company, build it as fast as possible, then take a step back at some point and just relax. Here, let's have a look at what's currently happening. So first thing for me, to be honest, was I understood the market's going to kind of pick up. Obviously, we're in a federal year here in America, so that's going to bring a lot of optimism. A lot of pressure is going to be put on the feds to lower the policy rates to make the market attractive, so people start buying. We know all this. This is like old news, and it's currently happening right now. What we're seeing too is you talk to anybody currently right now, they're talking about the rates that are coming down. So it's bringing that positive momentum back into the market. And then they're going to have that fear of missing out. So there's that urgency that's going to be created, and you're going to see this buying frenzy. But let's have a look at what's currently happening. Oh, sorry. The first flag that I kind of saw this year is going to be a good year was Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has not invested any money back into any market since pre-COVID. So the first money he put back into was single-family builders. D.R. Horton, $650 million. Lennar, $150 million. So D.R. Horton is number 2 in America as the largest builder, and Lennar is number one as the largest builder. So he's bet heavy on single family dwellings to go right away. Then so that was like the first flag, and then if you kind of look at this, like Blackstone dives deeper into housing, bet with a $3.5 billion deal. So these guys just bought Tricon, and Tricon was a landlord based in Toronto, but also had assets in the U.S. It's a $3.5 billion deal. It gives, remember, Blackstone is BlackRock, right? It's the same company. It's just a different name. It's the same owner, same ownership. Tricon has 38,000 U.S. rental houses as well as apartment buildings in Toronto. So again, they're betting heavy on single-family dwellings and rental market. This is what's kind of scary, and this is a big thing right now because we know we have housing shortage on both sides of the border. Even though these guys they are building so much more here, but there's still a shortage, and we're kind of seeing it firsthand of what's currently happening as the market starts to pick up. And these builders have been going flat, nonstop. If you see the way they kind of put together a neighborhood, like a community. Like getting ready to get build houses. It's not like in Toronto where you sign a contract and 2 years later you build a home, you get your home. Today you're going to sign a contract and they want to deliver a home in 97 days from the day of signing a contract. This is a whole nother way of doing business, and the products are good. Like we own 2 properties out here in the U.S. We're quite happy with them. One we live in and one we have as an investment property. One from a very high production builder, which is Lennar, as our investment property, and Pulte is the one we currently live in now, which is basically it's more of a cut above, better options and stuff like that, more higher quality. But again, so this is one big deal that just happened recently. Then we kind of look at there's Brookfield. Where is it? This one. Wait, so that's that. This property here. So I don't know if you guys been up and understand, like, if you're worldly and you're understanding what's currently happening in all in the world and what's different neighborhoods. If you heard about like California, for example, very liberal state. Their policies have created one of the highest riddled crime. So much egress out of California, like the migration leaving there is insane. It's almost like a virus has happened, and everyone's kind of skipping town just based on their new insanity, the way they're running that state. So anyway, so a lot of egress, a lot of business being closed down, disaster, homelessness all over the place, drug addicts. It's basically dystopian California. Even though, like, in my life, I always thought I would have moved to California at some point because I love the weather. It reminds me of Europe. But clearly not the case. But then again, what gives me hope is someone like Brookfield here. These guys want me to pay for this. I have it somewhere opened up. Anyway, so Brookfield is another big investor, and they just bought, I think it was 2,200 apartments in San Francisco right now, just under $1 billion. I think it was about a $900 million deal. So this gives that state much hope, where builders are putting money back into that community based on currently its state. It's a little bit of a disaster. You got big box stores, a lot of high-end stores are egressing out of that state too. You got Walmart's closing down just based on the theft and crime, like big box stores. It's dystopian in a world. So if a big builder or big real estate company's putting money back in, it gives hope for the future that they're going to turn things around. Another scary thing is this single-family dwellings. Like, everyone thinks that it's their God-given right to have let's say the North American dream, where you have a beautiful single-family dwelling, white picket fence, the whole thing, 2 cars, a boat. Like, we grew up in a time where that was a thing, right? The baby boomers were our parents, and then we kind of saw this beautiful life, and we think that's our God-given right that's going to get passed on to us. I've been talking to you guys for many years that it's not our God-given right. We have to earn it today. It's not, I mean, you earned it back then, but a little bit easier to attain than it is today, just based on housing prices and cost of living and everything like that. So what scares me is that all these big real estate companies are buying up single-family dwellings, which is making it more expensive for people like us that have a young family. We want our kids to obviously buy their own home, have that same opportunity that we have. And if you look at Jeff Bezos, he just invested in this company called Arrived Homes, which is scary, right? In a sense, I'll show you why it's scary. It's not scary that it's whatever, sinister, but what it's going to do is going to take a lot of single family dwellings out of the market. And I'll give you an example. This is what it is. It's basically a REIT, a real estate investment opportunity for people to buy into single family dwellings rather than the traditional commercial or multiplexes, how they used to do it, or apartment buildings, whatever it was. Now they're swallowing up single family dwellings because they know there's a shortage and there's money to be made because people need houses to live. So just for example, this is what's scary, right? Because you can get into this Arrive with $100 investment. You can be an investor into this company with only $100. So if you kind of look at this property, which looks beautiful, it's in Scottsdale, Arizona, something your family would buy, something I would love to buy. It looks like a great secondary property, well maintained and the whole thing. But look at this. This is 90% funded, like you would fund like a big project, with 1,085 investors. Like, I don't know, let's just argument's sake, I don't know, what is that worth? 600,000? I can always check, but just to give it a number, divided by 1,085 investors. So basically, they're into it for like $552 an investor. Basically, that's what it averages out for. If it was 600,000, if it's $1 million, clearly it's $1,085. But if you want it to be on the street because your family lives on it or around the block, and this is the area where the schools are the best for your kids and it's close proximity to work and the whole thing, you're going to be bidding against 1,085 investors, which makes it very hard to pick up a single family dwelling. This is why I kind of like here what we're doing with new construction is that we can get you product on demand here currently right now, because doesn't look like these REITs are buying into like the new builds just yet. They're buying more of the resales. So this gives us opportunities to buy properties right now lower than resale value, because remember in America now they're doing things or they've always done is that they're based on volume. This is not like a family from Vaughan that owns a construction company that became a builder and everything is like, you know, managed by the hierarchy of that. This is these are publicly traded companies where they got to push product. They have quotas to perform, and inventory's got to be pushed out. Doesn't matter at what cost. They got to do numbers. That's the whole point, which gives us an opportunity because they underprice it under the resale value market. You can buy in like the old days, like 10% below market value. So already you're ahead of the curve by 15% to the resale market. So then you're already, that's a good pat on the back. You're 10 to 15% more, patted into your pocket rather. So, and then obviously the appreciation as the communities start building and they become prior to completion, you'll see like a good transition of more value into that. But that's pretty much it, guys. It's a 13-minute video today. I wish you guys all the best. If you have any questions regarding real estate, both sides of the border, we're here to help. Have a great day.